Hi Leo, welcome to Ethernal Realms and welcome to your December reading. So we have here the overall picture of how this month looks like for you and also the top 3 major highlights taking place in this month. Then we'll move on to your tarot, oracle, your blessings and your astro dice. So let's see what we have for you. The first card we see here is with Moon Peak Dream. Okay, so there is some sort of imagination coming through. There can be some literal dreams that you have which give you an idea and you're kind of feeling inspired to take action on that dream. But it can also be talking about dreams in life, like your aspirations and your hopes and so on. So all in all, this month seems imaginative and hopeful, kind of surreal in a way. This can be, of course, internal and also external. So let's see how this plays out with your highlights. Then we have Jug with lighthearted carefree time as your first highlight. And yeah, this again goes with that surreal vibe where it's not too heavy. And you're just able to take some time for yourself, be with the people you care about, do things that you enjoy, and just not worry about a lot of obligations. And I mean, Leo connects with the inner child. So it is important to give ourselves some time to just be. Just be and do what you enjoy. Whatever drives your passion, whatever brings you inspiration, just follow that instinct here. And I see that you're able to give yourself that time. Then we have Sunrise as your second highlight. New creative ideas. Okay, great. New ventures and a fresh start. So that's 3 things wrapped in one. It basically says a new beginning. Right? A new beginning in terms of how you prioritize, again, your own hobbies or the projects that you have been wanting to do, like even if it's around the house or just for yourself, to show your loved ones, to redecorate something. It can be anything, small, big, but it is something new and it just inspires you into action. That's something I keep getting from the very beginning here. Okay, so you are a creative sign, so creative ideas coming through. I mean, you're not one to dilly-dally on that. Then we have Bread, period of prosperity and abundance. So yeah, you have that mindset where you're like, I can do what I want. Why not? This is something that inspires me, so why not go for it? Why not put some more time in there and see what comes out of it? There is not much expectation here that I feel. There is no obligation or responsibility that is weighing on your mind. So whatever is going on, you're able to handle in a very seamless manner, such that you also have the time and flexibility for yourself and your personal priorities. You have financial prosperity, material wealth, and nice people, good conversations, and enough relaxation to help you kind of absorb all of these amazing things around you. Yes, okay, wow, looks really good so far. So let's see what your tarot cards have to say. That, of course, will give you a lot more details and nuances into the month here. So we begin with the 3 of Wands, which talks about optimism and hope for the future, looking forward to the future, waiting for your manifestations to come through. 3 of Wands also signifies that a positive message is coming in, but it is also news of new inspiration. You're just sitting there. It can feel like, okay, where is this inspiration? When do I feel that drive? What is my next big idea? What can I deliver now? What do I pursue now? And it is definitely amazing because it's an open canvas, but at the same time, it can feel like, okay, I've been waiting. Come on, let's go. But the 3 of Wands says, not for long. You won't be waiting for very long. The ship is just around the corner. So you have this hopefulness and optimism surrounding you in this month. Okay, and I feel for some reason 3 of Wands I normally don't associate with the horizon, but over here I'm just highlighting the horizon, that there's a lot of possibilities. It's as though anything can be a new venture if you just feel drawn towards it, but the options are many and infinite possibilities. That's what I get there. Okay, so really inspired basically. Okay, it's perhaps too inspired with the 9 of Swords here. There is some type of anxiety here because you have a lot of thoughts running, a lot of different, again, many different ideas can come through and it can feel overwhelming. In this context, really, so far, it does not seem like a difficult thing that is happening in life. It's not other obstacles getting in the way necessarily. It feels like your mind is getting in the way because there's a lot going on. And we did have Mars squaring Neptune recently, and I think it is still in effect through some part of December, and that can lead to sort of, I'm inspired and I want to take action, but I'm not very clear in what way. Or I have a lot of imagination here, but I don't know how to realize that in the external world. Let's say you have amazing ideas in your head about a scenery you could paint, but then when you actually go about doing that, you find that some skills might be missing and that you have to backtrack and you have to learn something else first before you move into the next steps and so on, right? So it can feel like overwhelming in the sense that you want to go where you want to go, but there are other steps that you want to complete first. Or it can be that you have so many ideas you don't know which one to do, and that can make you feel a little bit anxious. Okay. Then next we have the Death and Rebirth. Wow. Okay, so two really, really heavy cards coming out here. Death and Rebirth is about transformation and seeing things in a completely new perspective. It's sort of like something unlocks you in the Three of Wands, like a way of perceiving the world. Or it can be that, let's say, okay, you're accepted, you can now travel abroad and you can study abroad or whatever it is that you want to do. And now all of a sudden you have everything that you wanted. Everything. Okay, and it is definitely a huge transformation because beyond this point, you're developing in a different way. Your personality is growing in a different manner. And there are many things that you cannot control here. Leo would love to be in control because it's a fixed sign and a fire sign, very passionate, very driven and ambitious. So when there are things that are beyond your control here, it can feel emotionally disturbing or as if you can't channel the fire in a productive manner. But once again, this is going on in the head here. There is nothing in the external world that is creating this feeling for you, basically. Okay, but it's the good kind of scary and it's the good kind of change because either this is something you have wanted for a while and you're waiting, or it is something that comes through and you're like, yep, this is exactly what I want. But the dream might feel so big that it can almost feel a bit daunting, even if it's super exciting. Okay. Next, we have the Six of Pentacles. This can talk about a new income source, but it's also about like having an equal give and take in terms of relationships, generosity, doing some charity work, going someplace where you can earn better so you can lead a quality lifestyle. It can also be exchanging services, so anything related with business. The Three of Wands talks about new business ventures as well. So, oh my God, so you might have a very great idea of how you can get your autonomy or kind of expand where you are right now in a way that you see fit, like what you are feeling called to do. Okay, you might have a great idea, but it can feel a little bit scary to go out there and do it because there's a lot other things that you need to think about, even if it's something super exciting, right? Some of you might need an investment and you might be worried about where you can get that. Death and Rebirth talks about Scorpio, which rules investments, loans, and anything that is shared to someone else giving you a financial benefit in order for you to have some expansion, right? So there can be a worry about not wanting to tie to something, wanting to do it all by yourself, but then that is too daunting. There's a slight back and forth, and it's mainly an internal turmoil, if we're going to call it that, but it's not really because why you're worried about this is not that whether you're capable of handling it or not. You are worried about how you can do this in a balanced way, right? So it's not coming from a survival perspective, but rather an expansion perspective. So you already have a good stability that it can continue and it can keep expanding. That's not a problem, right? It's not like you're losing something here. It's just an end of an era for you personally, because you want to do something that would expand you even further. Okay, so how can you do that in a harmonious manner without carrying on more stress? Because you don't need that. Okay, so yeah, wow. Okay, Then we have the Magician, which talks about the skill set that I was talking about. So my example of, you're wanting to paint, so that idea that you have in your head, but you need the correct tools or you need the correct skills and so on, right? It might already be that you have the skills that you need. It can be something inherent within you. It can be something you have practiced long ago, but then you left behind at some point, and now it is being useful in a way that you didn't even think of. It can also be using your speech or communicating, marketing, advertising, something of that sort. That could be your forte, and you want to take that as your additional venture. Okay, the Magician is taking willpower, making magic out of your own willpower, not backing down, and using everything that you have at your disposal. So that gives me the idea that you have the resources. Okay, it's not the quest to find the resource. It's perhaps just an inner fear of the huge change that it could be. And fixed signs are not really very fond of change, so I see why it can be a little bit difficult within, but nothing from the outside is inhibiting you. On the contrary, it is giving you everything that you want and need in order to expand yourself. So, wow, okay. So the Magician can also talk about some craftsmanship you do. So arts, crafts, aesthetic things, but it's also engineering and marketing, sales, like I said before. What else? It can also be acting. Leo is the actor of the zodiac. So, I mean, if you want to do that, it might be that you already have the inherent skills and you just need the right opportunity, and you might find the right opportunity and now you're scared to audition, something of that sort. See? Okay, so let's see your oracles. So there are so many nuances here, but it ties together so nicely. Okay, we have Sacred Mirrors with card number 33, and that talks about some guidance coming through. Again, messages can come in through your dreams or through synchronicities. We have 3, 6, and 9, which talks about that expansion. Also, Sacred Mirrors is about how the world is reflecting back to you. So when your perspective changes, then the type of circumstances you attract changes, because the way you experience it is changing, right? That's why the whole think positive is is not really to avoid the fears, but really to still have a fresh perspective, or to keep faith in something that is beyond your control. So over here, it looks like your perspective shifting is magnetizing towards you more work opportunities, more income sources, more ideas that can lead to future income, where you can put your effort in there, put your passion in there, and watch it grow and expand. Okay, so it can also talk about partnering with someone, can talk about the shared resources. Perhaps someone in your knowing can help you out with this, but it can also be some loan of sorts where you have a tie-up, and whether you enjoy it or not at this time, it does allow you to carry forward your dreams here. Okay, very nice. So the world is a reflection. What you seek within, it's sort of the change that you wish to see in the world, make the change within, and everything else kind of follows. That's sort of a quote, right? Yeah, that's what it's reminding me of. Okay, then we have Creator Water. Okay, so this one is related to emotions and intuition again. It's also that imagination that I was getting. And water sign connects with the moon, can talk about uncertainty and some things that are unknown at this time. But that is not a deal breaker, because you feel right about this. Okay, it's not the idea that you're doubtful of. You're not doubtful of the opportunity or whether you can do it or not. It's more like, oh my God, it's here. It's a sense of overwhelm and the world shifting so fast around you. It's that kind of thing. But you are going with the flow with Creator Water here. You're making something out of your imagination, and again, your artistic skill sets. Okay, there can be a spiritual breakthrough as well. where again you get an insight and that totally changes your mind. It gets you out of any negative thought cycles. If there has been like a lot of mood shifting that you're experiencing, where you're really up and light and very full of good humor, and then the next you're feeling depressed and anxious and all of that, there can be a breakthrough as to why that conflict is, and that brings you into balance and puts you in control, or in charge, I would say, puts you in charge of your emotions and the reality that you experience. Okay, it's a totally empowering month here in one way or the other for every single person here. Okay, so let's see your blessings. We have determination and creative achievement. Loving these synchronicities here. You can't use up creativity. The more you use, the more you have. Maya Angelou. That is so good. I mean, that is so true, right? Because once you have ideas, everyone's like, oh my God, what if I run out of these ideas? But like, write it down. And it's, each idea takes time to develop. Every idea takes time to develop. And in that process, as you are developing it, there's like a lot more leeways that you can find, a lot more paths that open up to you, and so on. So you're not going to run out of ideas. So that's not the fear here. Take use of the opportunity and keep on driving, because you are the inspiration. You are the creator. The magician here is like the creator position, is doing alchemy, is creating magic out of thin air. He makes something happen. Okay, so it's the power of the mind and the ability to translate that mind into the outside world, and the translation takes some time, so don't worry about running out of it. You're very determined for whatever the next phase of life it is. There is a good notice coming in, but also a fresh new perspective that comes in that kind of liberates you in a way. It gets you out of a funk and it refills your life with a lot of hope. And that's when your fire is activated, right? Okay, then we have playfulness, which, yes, lovely, because like I said, Leo is about the inner child. It's also about hobbies and entertainment and creative pursuits. So playfulness is a lovely way to approach any new opportunity here, because we don't want to be fearful of, oh my God, what if I lose it, right? Or we don't want to be, oh, what if it is scary? I don't want to go there. But when you have an idea of a mindset of playfulness, like, oh, let's see how this works out. When you drop the expectations and you don't think too much about it, of course, plan things out, but and be critical of your performance and etc. But that should not be the reason to stop in one spot, because there is no such thing as stagnancy being constant, right? It's always the continual change and balance that is maintained in each of these every moments. That is what is constant here. So as long as you keep playing and doing what you enjoy, because you enjoy it, because you dream it so you can make it happen, because you're imagining it, why not, right? That's when you see so much of this flood here. This death and rebirth is like a pivot point. It can be somewhere around the middle till the third week of the month that this empowerment kind of happens. Wow. Okay, so your astro dice. Leo, please. December Leo. We have 5th house again. Okay, and we have Cancer and we have Pluto. So Pluto is about death and rebirth, really. It's about transformation, and it's also stepping up to your personal power, because you're recognizing who you really are. And how you're doing that is by shedding the masks that need to be put on for the world. Now, the 5th house is about the fun, play, and entertainment. This is where Leo sits, and allowing your inner child to go out and play. Could be that you're connecting with your children if you have them. Cancer is about nurturing, nourishing. It's the home and family. It is about the emotional body as well. So you're going with the flow, you're protective of your ideas, you're taking care of your emotions. So once again, if you've been feeling a lot of mood swings in the recent past, or even like that's something that you struggle with, there could be an inner conflict that is taking place all the time. It can be subconscious, because Pluto rules subconscious. The death and rebirth also is about the subconscious mind, but it is coming to the forefront, and you are so happy that it did, because it helps you now move away from difficulties in life and change your perspective. So now you're more lighthearted and more playful around this time. And at the same time, you're creating a lot of powerful work if this is connected to your work. But in general, you're being very powerful this month. Amazing. So that's what I have for you, Leos. Thank you so much for being here. I really hope the reading resonated and that it helps you out. Let me know your thoughts. And if you want a personal reading, you can reach me via Etsy. The link is in the description box and the comment below. I will see you some other time. Until then, take care. Bye.